He wore some like off-whites, some Nike off-whites, $5,000-$6,000 shoes on stage. And he was like, oh, they were gifted to me. It was creating this dialogue, this discord between two sides of like, what should a pastor do?
Even like your spiritual heroes, it is common for one to like put them in a pedestal. But I think there is something beautiful to see them make mistakes and then see them walk through life and how they handle that. Somebody's walk and how they're interacting with the Lord and how they allow the Holy Spirit to correct their life.
It takes a level of maturity on the side of the followers, though, as well, to like not hold that against them.
Oh, 100%.
When they do fall off the pedestal.
It's like, of course, like you have to hold your leaders up to like a higher standard. Like
You're affecting other people.
Exactly.
You're like, I mean, I feel like that's what Jesus was getting at. It's like, it's better to tie a millstone around your neck and drown
And
than to
these little children.
Exactly. Like you're not only it's not just you at this point.
I think it's important also to understand that the audience is the one who creates those people. The audience is always the one who creates the star. And they're somewhat culpable in that. And I think that's where it's important as like a follower of Jesus to follow Jesus, not a preacher. Hey, hit that like and subscribe button. Helps a ton.
Oh, that's too demanding.
Too demanding? All right, you want something
Please,
subtle.
sir, if you would, please hit us that like and subscribe.
Soft sticks, man. Soft sticks. All right.
Jazz hands.
This the Best Friends podcast?
Come on.
Is that what it is?
Let me tell you about my best.
Are we best friends, Ben?
We're getting there.
We're getting there. We're working on it.
We're getting there.
Slowly but surely.
That was a good response.
Yeah. Here you guys are best friends.
Indeed.
Mm.
I would definitely call him
How'd that happen?
that. That was through nursing school / church /
Yeah. We met through, nursing school. It was a nursing school event. We used to lead a nursing worship event. And Josh came as a student. I think by that point, it was either my fourth semester or I already graduated.
I think you just
I
graduated.
might have just graduated. And then that kind of just opened itself up.
Yeah.
Like it blossomed, or was there?
Oh, it just blossomed.
Or did you have was it like a wicked type of situation where you just kind of like fought and jived and
Oh, I
you
don't
know?
know if it was a
No.
wicked type of thing.
No,
There's no drama.
No drama. No, I mean, Jesus has always been super intentional.
Yeah.
I mean, he's always been a really intentional dude, and so, I don't know. Well, I guess we just.
There's a lot more drama in movies than in real life, isn't there?
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
I was gonna say, it depends.
It depends.
Yeah. I mean, we started our relationship looked, I think, a lot different. It started more of like a mentor discipleship.
Mm.
Uh,
Like from a faith standpoint?
like from yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, for sure. And then I think after that, it grew into a friendship. Yeah, I think the Lord put Josh heavy in my heart several times. And I think from that, boom, he gets kind of salty that I didn't put him at my wedding.
100%.
You know what?
You wanted drama.
No.
You want drama.
Hold up. I actually have something to say about this because I've had talking about best friends. Yes, Amos, we are working on this to get to best friend territory, but I do have a best friend out there from childhood. Never invited me to his wedding. You know, wasn't the I've never been asked to be the best man or
Same.
Same.
So like former best friend. He's like, I asked you to be my best man. And I'm like, no, you didn't.
Yikes.
That hurts.
But he was my best man after the fact. So I guess I got over it.
Yeah, clearly you
Yeah.
got over it.
Clearly.
But then we haven't really talked much since then. So I don't know. Different paths, different states.
Yeah.
He's in Tennessee. So
I mean, it's kind of funny what is that little circle, the Jesus circle, where it's like your three closest, or so I kind of take this stance of I have multiple where I would call them like best friends, but like for sure, Jesus is probably my closest of all my best friends. And I know people have strong feelings about that, to where it's like, no, you've only got one best friend. You can only have
don't
one.
know about that. Like it's like having multiple children. You love them all equally.
Okay, but that's different. You birth children. You don't birth friends. I birth John.
So it's more like wives then, is what you're saying.
I hope you don't have multiple wives. No,
Not that I'm aware of, no.
I could.
Katie tells me she's a jealous woman, so like that's not happening.
I can imagine. Anyways, no, I mean, I think you can have more than one best friend.
Mhm.
If you go by circles of intimacy.
I mean, by definition of the word best, though, it's like
That I feel like that's what you can run into is
Yeah.
that the definition of best. But I feel like you can have like what Jesus again. Go ahead.
I mean, like if you go by circles of intimacy, if you read Keep Your Love On, they talk about that there. Garth will talk about it from time to time. He's why.
What was that again?
Circles of intimacy. Oh, Keep Your Love On. It's a book.
keep your love on.
Kayla or Kylo.
He talks about like circles of intimacy, and he uses the example of your outermost being Charlie Sheen. You know, like you're somebody you don't really know. It's not even, and basically you work your way in.
Yeah, I would keep Charlie Sheen on the outer circle.
Probably he's on the outermost circle. Yeah,
I'd keep him out there even if I knew him.
It's based on level of influences, and so like,
I'm sure he's a nice guy.
yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know. So
Wait, what? Hold on. Did we just say Charlie Sheen was a nice guy?
I said I'm sure he's a nice guy. We don't want to get sued.
Yeah, I mean,
He's got tiger blood.
I don't want him to get offended.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's out here listening.
This is
to
about
this
love.
podcast.
Jesus is talking about love right now.
Anyways, it's all about like levels of intimacy and like the degree of I guess like authority that you give them in your life. So obviously, hopefully, your wife is in that innermost circle, but I don't think it's healthy when only your wife is in that innermost circle. Like my wife is my best friend, but also I have my best friends, and there's a confidant level that I think a fellow man fits in that role too. So yeah. But I don't think it should be only one person. It can be. There's male friendships are kind of hard to find. At least, well, personally, my personal experience are kind of hard to find. So,
well, who had friends growing up? Do you have lots of friends growing up, Ben?
No, I mean, no. I probably didn't. I don't talk to anybody from high school.
Well, I mean, like when you're growing up in your high school or middle school, or whatever, you have like a friend group.
Yeah, but I mean,
easy come, easy go kind of thing. Like you're friends because you're together in the same building.
Correct.
Being forced to learn.
Yeah.
A forced proximity type of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
I can see that. I am not a bro. I am not your typical man, guy, dude, bro.
I don't know what that means. Like toxic masculinity.
No, I mean, even we're not even hitting that. We can approach that, but I'm not even going that deep. No, I mean, like if you look at my hobbies, they're not going to be your typical guy hobbies, especially growing up. So, like in high school, and even honestly, the first half of college, or a big part of college, I was mostly surrounded with girls. I grew up with a sister. And I was close to my mom too. My dad is present and he was fine. So I mean, just comfortable with girls. You can be emotional with them. They're open to being open about emotions. So my hobbies didn't draw in a lot of male camaraderie. So I never had a big group of guy friends. Like I said, up until probably college, and the second half of college is when I had a good friend in the beginning half of college, but so I'm not one to have a lot of guy friends or a lot of my bros, you know, go play basketball on Thursdays.
But you do play basketball.
I don't.
I'm just kidding. I was I definitely feel like we're kindred spirits with that regard too. I did not have bro friends. Like I said, I have one best friend from childhood. And that was probably about it.
I'm a
And-
middle child / homeschooler, so I had a massive friend group.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Massive.
No, I'm always been like just a loner
Mhm.
for the most part, or a buddy hunter. There was a buddy hunting phase I went through,
Mhm.
and then I learned that didn't work out very well. So you just
Mhm.
kind of get past that. But it is definitely one of those things where like there's a little hole in my childhood from not
Mhm.
having
Mhm.
friends, and then it becomes hard to make friends too,
Mhm.
along with like not wanting to push people away or drive people away or
Mhm.
whatever,
Yeah.
you know.
No, for sure.
Did you ever have a lot of friends, Josh?
So I was the opposite of what Jesus talked about.
That's all right.
I mean, I was the bros bro. But with that comes not a whole lot of intimacy with those really, really close friends.
Yeah.
Not a I didn't really have those real deep friendships up until the point, honestly, until I was about 21, 22, when I'm still close friends with all of my buddies from high school. I've got, I would say, out of the, I was kind of forced to have this many groomsmen, but so out of the 9 groomsmen I had, I would say about
Whoa.
yeah.
Who had to pay for the suits?
They each paid for their own, but they were pretty cheap. They were cheap.
Right.
But out of the 9 groomsmen I had, 7 out of the 9 I still communicate with at least on a weekly basis. So I'm close with them, but some of them will only allow kind of like arm's reach kind of thing, even with guys that I've grown up with. And it wasn't until I met Jesus that I had that level of intimacy made me uncomfortable. I didn't like opening up about that kind of stuff. I mean, there'll be like, if I didn't like crying, I didn't like, especially in public, didn't like crying in public, didn't like talking about my feelings. That was just something I wasn't familiar with. It wasn't something I opened up with my family about. So that was one thing that Jesus was like, no, we're gonna break through that. So that is a that's I think there's I didn't have that hole without the friendship, right? But I did have that hole in a level of intimacy that I didn't get to actually experience up until I was older, because it wasn't manly. And I mean, my dad's a part of the Clint Eastwood generation, so
To stuff your feelings down.
yeah, 100%.
Did your wife have 9 friends to
She had 3 real close friends,
Okay, but like-
which she's still friends with. But I mean, that's
to cover your groomsmen though?
yes.
she had-
Oh, she was the one that she was the reason I had 9 groomsmen.
Okay.
I would have had probably about 6 or 7.
So she had 9 bridesmaids,
Yep.
and then you had to fill in.
Yep.
Gotcha.
But to be honest with you, I mean, I had the guys I didn't grow up with. I mean, I had Jesus, who I didn't grow up with, but was someone that I became at that point I would consider one of my best friends. And then I had 2 of my guys that I met in college that were still close buddies with, that I still communicate with. So it wasn't bad. I mean, it was just I had my core group from high school, and then Jesus, and then my 2 other buddies that one of them couldn't even come to the wedding. So ended up being 8 and 8.
On Josh's defense, too, he'll sell himself short, but he's also really good at being intentional with those guys.
How do you mean intentional?
Man, I always give him a hard time about this, but even when we went to his bachelor party, I was telling him that he's a natural leader. The way that those guys look up to him, it's pretty awesome. They naturally just gravitate and look to him. And you can see by the way they talk about him and talk to him and even listen to him, that there's this weight that Josh has in their lives. And then that requires Josh being intentional. While he was a bro's bro and a dude's dude, like Josh is good about asking, like, how are you doing? And like truly diving into that and remembering what's going on in people's lives. That I think sometimes people are just not introspective enough or aware enough of other people to like seek that, to like remembering, like if something is going on in somebody's life, like most people will forget about it because you have your own stuff to deal with, for good or bad. But then you have people like Josh. I'll remember those things, and then he'll bring them back up, and then he'll intentionally ask about it, and then share his wisdom with it. And for I think especially for those type of guys, which they're incredible. I love his groomsmen. They're really sweet guys. But sometimes for those type of guys to allow another guy to step in and give some of the advice that Josh gives them, it requires that person to step in and love on them well and be present enough for them to allow that person to have, again, going back to that circle of intimacy, to have that certain authority in their life. You know, you're not just going to take advice from somebody, or I mean, you listen to them maybe, but truly you're like, okay, you're a nobody. But when someone matters and comes and tells you something, ideally and hopefully, if your heart is soft enough, you'll say, okay, well, maybe that is true. Like, maybe I need to change that. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes it's a random guy on the street you don't even
It is.
know.
And that is true.
All of a sudden prophesying at you.
And that is true. And then,
something that Jesus does frequently.
and that then now we're talking and stepping into the spiritual world, which I mean the Lord can use strangers in your life. But I do think sometimes some of the more deep, meaningful changes that happens in your life come from those people that you've allowed to have that space in your life.
That kind of that inner circle that you were talking about earlier, that Kylo gets into.
What makes for good leadership? Like, what makes Josh a good leader?
Man, that's a good question. Tying back to that aspect of being intentional, I think he's very intentional with those guys. So you're more likely to trust somebody. Trustworthiness, I think, is very important in a good leader. So those guys trust Josh because Josh has been intentional with them and loving them more than I'm sure most other fellas in their lives. I would say even some of them, and I don't know all of them or their lives, but some of them have dad issues. And I think in a way, Josh has stepped into their lives and spoke into those issues or into those hearts. And I think that then allows them to turn to him and trust him.
Well, it's building trust. I mean, and it's like that with friendships. It's like that in leadership too. And you have to, whether you like it or not, trust is earned, and you have to be there and you have to show that you're there for people. I mean, that's something that even in the workplace now, where that's a hard thing to earn. It's a hard thing to earn amongst your employees, and then it's also a hard thing to earn amongst your friends. You have to show up time in, time out, and being there for them. Where it's more, character will tend to show itself in the long term, and it's real easy. Like for me, I know my tendencies, and my tendency is to have a real strong start and then not a very good long game. Like I got a real good drive, but my short game sucks sometimes. Versus Jesus, where dude's got a freaking, like, he is intentional on intentional on intentional, and it's consistent. I know I recognize that in myself. I'm not that, I don't lean towards that as much, and so I have to work at it. And I mean, that's where a lot of that leadership aspect comes, is you have to prove you're trustworthy, and that you have to be intentional in those things.
Are nurses cutthroat? Like, is it a cutthroat game?
It depends. Some of them can be, especially your veterans.
Most of them.
Your veterans can be.
Even your young ones. I would say, and I could get canceled for this, and I'm okay with that. As a nurse, and I'm a nurse, I would say about, and I mean, you were homeschooled, but I would say about 70% of the mean girls in high school grow up to be nurses. Period. I even throw that number, make it bigger. They just grow up to be any kind of nurse. If they like more adrenaline, then yes, they do become ER nurses. But if they're more type A, they become ICU nurses.
CVS, yeah.
If they're happier nurses, they become PD nurses, but they're still the mean girls in high school. Say what you want. You meet them, and they're good. They are fierce, and they work hard, and they care, and they are loving. But you cross them.
Where would you classify my mom? Because she was a nurse.
Yeah, but I didn't work with your
You
mom.
didn't work with her, but
So
But you could tell she's stern though. Like there's a sternness about her that
I love Miss Judy. So I don't know. I don't know Miss Judy as a nurse, so that would also be some different. But so I love Miss Judy. So I think Miss Judy probably fits at 30%. I don't think Miss Judy was a mean girl, but like I said, I don't know. I could be biased, but I'm a big fan of Miss Judy. So sorry,
she can be a little cutthroat growing up.
but your mom stands by her morals.
Yeah, no.
She will
There were
not.
definitely like there were lines. There were clear lines in the sand growing up.
Oh yeah, she does not waver. That's one thing about your mama.
Yeah.
She does not waver.
How long was she a nurse, Amos?
At least 10 years. And then when she married dad, I believe she quit. And then when I was around 12, 14, 15, she went back to nursing, somewhere in there,
Okay.
early teens.
Mhm.
And then she did it for another 10, 15 years, I think.
Oh, okay.
She worked at a hospital, didn't she? I think she worked at Memorial for a little bit.
I don't know. I know she worked in Lufkin for a while.
Mhm.
But yeah. I think she seemed like all the nurses liked her. Whenever I visited, everyone liked her.
Oh, she's intentional. I mean, she's
a very intentional person. Yeah.
I mean,
and I think you can be a mean girl and also be well liked.
She can be a mean girl and a nice
The
girl.
mean girls were popular.
Yeah.
There's a reason why.
What
they're
makes for a
popular.
mean girl?
Oh,
I'll let you take that one.
I mean,
Come on, let's get canceled. Let's go.
man, I'm okay with that. Listen, I told Ben I can be very sharp and sassy. I mean, it's just they can be bullies, so they'll like if they don't like you.
Yeah, but where does that come from? Where do you think that comes from?
Oh, insecurity,
Mm.
big whopping insecurities.
But they're the popular girls.
Yeah, but that's how they're seeking or trying to fill those insecurities.
It's affirmation from the outside rather
Affirmation.
than
So is that like a school system problem, or is it a cultural problem, or
I
is
think
it
it's
a
a multi-layered.
faith problem? Like,
I mean, that's
because it
definitely
seems to be
multifaceted.
pervasive in our society. And then you have the other side of bullying too, where you can't fight back, otherwise everyone gets in trouble.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Again, not speaking from experience. I mean, we did some bullying in our school too, but it was just amongst the four of
I was
us.
gonna use this your house. I mean,
No, we had a special building. Miss Judy had her own building for homeschooling.
I believe.
Yeah.
I think it extends. It's a multi-layer thing. You know, there's your aspect of culture, but then if you really want to dive in, like absent fathers lead to kids not knowing their identity, not knowing who they are, so they're gonna seek it in peers. Then once you get to that, then you kind of get into that herd mentality of like, who's gonna be queen bee, who's gonna be alpha in a herd. And I think you prove that, unfortunately, by seeking out the weakest in the herd and pointing them out, because it's easy to call somebody out on their mistakes or on the shortcomings. Then if you get everybody distracted and focused on the ugly kid, the fat kid, then nobody's gonna see your flaws. Or at least you think, and so that's the mentality. I mean, put on Mean Girls, and they'll dissect that, and that's my favorite movie. It's a fantastic movie. But she dissects that. Like, it's if you turn the attention of others towards others' mistakes, then nobody's gonna see yours. I think it's that mentality of deflecting.
Yeah, but you still see yours.
Oh yeah, 100%. And you see those. You stand in front of the mirror and you say, "My pores are huge."
There's also this deflecting aspect, but there's this if I can belittle somebody enough, I'm better than them. And it's like a deflection, but also a superiority complex as well. So the deficiencies aren't as like you said, noticeable, but this other person has more deficiencies than I do, which makes me better, which makes me more alpha or more of the leader. And that's what a mean girl does, is pointing out what other flaws of other people, how your flaws aren't as big, and how you are superior because of that.
And I use the word just so I don't get canceled on that side. I do use the term mean girl, but I do apply that to guys too.
I was gonna ask, what's the
100%. There's mean girls in the guy world too. Just like we're all the brides of Christ. Uh listen, if I get to be the bride of Christ, uh a guy gets to be a mean girl. I mean, it's no different. Again, we go by. I think the young kids now are using the term alpha and beta and all that. Josh knows more
Sigma
about that.
too.
There we go. Josh knows all that.
What's a Sigma?
dare.
What's a Sigma specific?
Josh
Don't
knows.
you dare.
I mean, I've heard people throwing it around.
So
like,
my little sister's a Gen Z, so it's
It's a meme.
lone wolf.
Yeah,
Kind
I,
of like a
oh, so me.
yeah, Sigma energy. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I mean, you see guys that belittle people. Again, it's the same. Like I'm gonna, and it almost you can even draw roots to like animalistic behavior of like
Mhm.
how does when you have competition to find a mate. Just we were just talking about basic just animals in the jungle. You outdo your competitors.
Mhm.
I think there's some of that transitions into like the humanity aspect of it, or maybe you can say like, oh well, that's kind of our raw animalistic side of things. Like if I can belittle the other guys around me, then I can be the top, and then they're gonna look to me. Take a look at Gaston from Beauty and the Beast.
Mm.
Like he's got everybody believing no one as strong as Gaston or as good looking as Gaston. So then they're gonna just bow down to Gaston. And they're gonna just depend on him.
my favorite Disney movie, by the way.
Beauty and the Beast.
Now the fact
Oh,
that I just
yeah.
threw out Disney like that, this is
No.
why I'm not a bros, bro.
That is by far one of the best Disney movies. I don't know what it
I
is.
mean, Lion King's pretty good.
Oh yes, Lion King.
It's
is
up
my
there.
favorite.
So is Lilo and Stitch. I think Lilo and Stitch might be my favorite.
You know what it is though. It's it as a man, it was like, oh, she's the book nerd. Like that's what it was. But she didn't want to go for the alpha male.
Yes,
She went for the Beast though.
I marry a Belle, for sure. I marry the book nerd, and that's why I left my wife.
Question is, if she fell in love with the Beast, is she going to be happy with the prince after she gets him?
I think so because she fell in love with his personality. I mean, unless she had some weird kink and animalistic thing. I think the beauty of Beauty and the Beast is that she falls in love with his heart. And that's why it didn't matter that he was a beast. Like, it wasn't this instant attraction, this prince that shows up and sweeps in. Like, no, I mean, she hated him. And then he had to show his softness. He had to be intentional, show her a library, do all these things to pursue her. Opposite of Gaston. Gaston came in and was just like, you should love me because I'm Gaston. Everybody loves me. But instead, he had this guy, this beast, who was intentional, pursued her. And then she fell in love with his heart. And then, surprise, surprise, she doesn't have to worry about him being a beast. He turned into a man. But
now, I will say I have a problem with the second movie is because he became a beast again. I don't know how that happened. I mean,
let's see.
The
I
problem,
forgot how they wrote that
problem
on.
with sequels is that you have to reset the status quo in order to make them make sense.
Yeah.
Because you arced out the characters in the first round.
Yep.
So, any other Renaissance movies? I was never a Little Mermaid fan. We largely weren't allowed to watch Disney when we grew up, and then
I'm so sorry.
we had we could watch old Disney. We had Pinocchio, we had Snow White, we had like the old Disney, and then like Lion King, Aladdin. Those things were off limits.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah,
Mary Poppins?
yeah, we had Mary Poppins. Yeah,
Do you know
that's
why?
old Disney.
Do you know?
Well, part of it was some of the art and graphics in some of the covers that
Mhm.
you know about those, right?
I remember
The phallic symbols on I think is it Little Mermaid or is it Aladdin? I think it's Aladdin.
Yeah, but did they know about that back then?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah. No, they were pointing it out.
You
right
have to
away.
explain this stuff to me because
pull up
Aladdin was one
the
of my
cover-
favorite Disney
Pull up
movies.
the
growing
cover.
up.
I think it's the.
But
the
I think they
box
changed
cover
them
for Aladdin.
after people started calling them out.
Yeah, look
So
at the original.
you might have to look for them.
Yeah.
Because it came out that or there was a meme of like,
Yeah. So
and the Lion King sex is spelled in the stars.
Yep, that one. So that's the Little Mermaid. I think it's Aladdin.
Was it Aladdin?
I think it's Aladdin.
But there was something in Little Mermaid too. Yeah, wait, go up.
Right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, there's stuff like that planted around in Disney.
It was a big thing. Again,
Like, I don't think any kids are noticing, but it's still kind of, the fact that you
I mean, I
put
feel like
that.
they still kind of do it now, but in a very like dialogue, you'll like, oh, the parents will get this. And
Oh,
this
we'll
is
go
this
back
will-
and watch movies that like we watched when we were kids and we didn't get it. There's a lots of innuendo.
Shrek is a
Oh
key
yeah,
to
Shrek
that.
is full of innuendo. Like,
But that's why it's also for the parents. I don't know.
I did not know that. That's funny.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
a big thing.
there's a whole
Yeah.
rabbit trail.
come here to ruin your
There's a-
childhood.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, like right there, like the Lion King one. It's supposed to say "Sex and the Stars."
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. Who's putting this stuff there?
But at the same time, it's like, man, you play what was it? Play the record backwards, the AC/DC backwards, or Beatles backwards on the record
Antichrist,
player.
Devil's Children.
Yeah, it's like
especially back when those movies came out. Like for example, the Lion King scene, right? You were watching it in a VHS to like pause it at the right time. It was hard. You truly
It's
had to
hypnosis.
be.
You're hypnotizing the children. Is what they said.
Yes.
Yeah. You're gonna learn things and then become a deviant.
It did make me become a sexual deviant.
Yeah.
All that.
I mean, I had friends that I still have good friends that growing up they couldn't play Zelda, they couldn't play, or they couldn't watch or read Harry Potter for witchcraft, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we were in that class. Like
Nice.
I think we weren't even allowed to go see Lord of the Rings, which all the Christian people were going to see Lord of the Rings because there's a lot of Tolkien was a Christian and
What about-
was good friends with C.S.
What about
Lewis.
Narnia?
We did go see Narnia.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Marty had a witch.
Yeah, but
It had
it
witchcraft.
had a Jesus line in it too.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which I think in the new version is going to be played by a woman.
Oh no.
I think that they're casting Meryl Streep. I think they're casting Meryl Streep as Aslan,
Interesting.
which
there's some interesting stuff about C.S. Lewis that I won't go into right now.
do it. Go for it.
No,
Curious.
I don't have enough.
I know he was a big time Calvinist, right?
Yeah, and the storyline with regards to Aslan, it's just yeah, it's I can see why him and Tolkien definitely sat there and argued over theology. Because I think as much as I can respect both of their works, I don't know. Like I said, I don't have a full grasp on what I did glean off of some podcast last week, but it was very interesting. And it's one of those things where it's kind of like you grew up, especially in a Christian household. I grew up with Tolkien and C.S. Lewis, and it's like, whatever, yeah, great. But then as an adult, it's like, oh, I didn't think he believed this, especially with regards to the Calvinistic stuff. So that kind of, once you kind of blow the lid off, now you have to go back and reanalyze what exactly do I believe.
I can see that. I think then jumping on or playing devil's advocate or whatever you want to say. I think you also there's sometimes, and that's up to you. You have to separate sometimes, like some of the art from the maker, or however that saying is. I don't know. I always chop
From
up.
artists.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
I chop up sayings all the time, but like I think let's look in the Christian world. Like they have been pastors that have done a lot of great things, and then it comes out that they did terrible things. And does that excuse the terrible things? No, and that will be something that they'll have to answer for. But that it doesn't take away.
It doesn't
like,
make the message wrong.
Yeah, like it didn't take away that sermon that maybe spoke to somebody. You know what I mean? Like
I'll go out. I'll go out and say like I was heavily influenced by like Ravi Zacharias for quite a while. Just listening to him, and I like the way that he debated, and the way he debated with people was very
Agreed.
like it was very humble. It was very kind. And then come to find out all the stuff that's going on with all the stuff that happened with him.
What happened with him?
Oof.
After he died, they did a whole investigation with his ministry. A couple women, I think, came out and said some stuff, and they did a couple independent investigations, not just within, it wasn't just his own people investigating him, or after he died, obviously, these allegations, but they hired outside, and it was like, ah. But at that point, he's already dead, and it's kind of like, well, what are you going to do now? Are you going to just completely throw the baby out with the bathwater kind of situation? I don't know.
You ever hear that theory that pastors, what they preach about the most is the thing they have the biggest problem with?
Oh, I mean, I don't even think is it a theory? I feel like it's pretty true.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of the things that I'm not a pastor doing.
Okay, let's follow this. Let's follow this down. What is?
I mean, as a theory,
what
because I
is
don't hear people.
terrible?
I say theory because I don't hear people talking about it, but maybe everybody just knows it's true.
I mean, it's your biggest insecurity, or the things that are affecting your life the most. That's the ones that you're wanting
Right.
to talk about more.
Right.
And I think it makes sense. Like, if it's if you have a soft heart and you're hearing the Lord's voice, like if it is something that the Lord is teaching you, then it is something that then you're gonna turn around and share. I would say, like, for example, like when we lead small group, like a lot of times, like material that I try to like put together for our group, it's tied to some of the stuff that either I'm struggling with or something that the Lord is like teaching me through. Because I'm like, well, like we've talked about that, and He says, like, and the Lord obviously said good points. I'm like, let's turn that, because then you realize, okay, well, maybe I'm not the only one that's struggling with this. So then it's easy then to turn that forward and share that with the hope that that's gonna like hit on somebody that's also walking through that. So I would say maybe that.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Seems like the world kind of has a shallow expectation too for pastors to be infallible. It's where like you shouldn't be struggling with these problems while you're a pastor.
for sure. Unless it's like sexual abuse, then
And where
taking
it comes to mind is when like a pastor is preaching a lot about like pornography, or something like that, and you're like, you okay there? Got something like or like sexual sin, anything like that.
So Michael Cochini, I brought him up a couple times before. He made one final video with regards to Mike Winger's situation, but ultimately called out a couple different Christian YouTubers and said, which I didn't know he did this. Every 6 months or so, he does a live stream where he confesses his sins.
Cochini or Winger?
Cochini.
To fellow pastors and his audience, obviously, of what he's dealing with, and repents publicly for these things routinely. Like, and obviously, and he even says, like, if there's something that I've previously confessed and after X amount of years, I'm still struggling with that, guys, you need to quit listening to me. Like, obviously something's not working. But he was calling out these other Christian YouTubers to do something similar, to be like, the Bible says we need to really step up our game with regards to confessing our sins and calling out. And he was talking more about, these YouTubers that call out fallen preachers or pastors or whatever, right? We've talked about this in the past.
I mean, that goes kind of back to the Mean Girls thing too. Like, YouTube's full of mean girls.
Yeah.
Well, he clearly delineates to it specifically that he says, if you are a YouTuber, if you're someone that's mass producing these things and you are speaking, you're saying that, or you're giving spiritual advice, or you're pastoring people, like there's a standard that you need to be held to. And he's saying that as a YouTuber, as someone who's got 200 and something thousand followers,
or even a pastor of 200.
Yeah. I mean, there's a standard that you need to be held to. And like you spoke on this infallibility of pastors or whoever, it's like laying it all out there and saying, you should not be following me. You should be following Jesus. I'm just someone that is speaking the word of Jesus. So that's what I appreciated that about him. I still have I like Cochini. I still have my reservations towards him. But I appreciate what he said on that.
But yeah, a lot of mean girls out there on YouTube. Watch out.
Yep. I don't know much about those names. I don't really know famous people like that. But like Josh and I talked about this a couple of days ago. I think even like your spiritual heroes, I'm not even talking like Stephen Bob, like famous people, like even like mentors and things like that. Like it is common for one to like put them in a pedestal, uh, because they have a lot of wisdom and they've also like impacted your life. But I think there is something beautiful to see them make mistakes and then see them walk through life and how they handle that. One, it kind of humanizes them, and two, like you're seeing hopefully like somebody's walk and how they're interacting with the Lord and how they allow the Holy Spirit to correct their life and then speak into it and be like, oh no, I did mess up with my kid, or I did do this, and then how they allow the Spirit to change that.
But it takes a level of maturity on the side of the followers, though, as well, to like not hold that against them.
Oh, 100%.
When they do fall off the pedestal.
And yeah, I mean, it's hard because there is a balance. Like, of course, like you have to hold your leaders up to like a higher standard. Like, I remember a while ago we had issues with like college leaders, like going out and drinking and partying. Uh, and like they're like, well, I'm just human and stuff like that. And yes, like you're right, like you are, and you're also college shitting yourself. But the thing is, the second you step into whether it's a little leadership, like leading a small group of 5 kids, or leading a whole church, like as you put mantles of leadership, like there is a higher standard that you have to live, like live up to, uh and like you are supposed to live in that. Like you said, it's hard, but it comes with it. Like if you're gonna choose to step into that, no one's forcing you to take that role of leadership. Um, so with that, with great power comes great responsibility. So like
you're affecting other people.
exactly.
You're like, I mean, I feel like that's what Jesus was getting at. It's like it's better to tie a millstone around your neck and drown
And
than
offend
to
one of these little children.
exactly. Like you're not only it's not just you at this point.
Yeah.
You are affecting other people, and so you should be held to a higher standard.
Yeah.
You should be checking yourself. You should be transparent with your leaders, with other leaders as well. Like there's a seriousness that comes with that. And you need, I mean, that's why confession is such a huge thing in that confession and that repentance, because if you don't, I mean, secret sin just leads to death. So
But no, I agree. I mean, even like a non-spiritual self, like if Josh makes a fool of himself in the hospital, it's going to look a lot different than
just going to ask about worldly leadership.
Yeah, like if I make a fool of myself in the EM, like it's two different things. Like, is it bad for both of us? Yes. But if I make a mistake, or if let's say I cuss a patient out. If I cuss a patient out, it's going to look bad because, yes, that's a nurse. But if Josh goes and cusses a patient out, it's like, no, that's the director of the EM. And nobody forced Josh to take that role. Josh chose to take that role.
Has this happened?
No.
No.
Let it be clear.
Have you seen
Let
it
it be
happen?
stated. But no, but I'm just saying, like,
this happen, especially with that one. Oh, I mean, I hold him to it. I hold him to it.
Yeah, you'd probably be like, yeah, he was probably right. Jesus must have been right about something if that happened.
But like even the way we interact, like the way I'm gonna interact with a fellow nurse is gonna be different than when Josh is gonna interact with that nurse. Because again, he's held to a higher standard and a different role than if I do. I always like joke with him and I tell him that he sounds like admin. And sometimes he gets all butthurt about it. But I tell him like that you should sound like admin. Like that is a role that you walk into. You can now no longer sound like a nurse. And that again, that makes him a good leader because he's taking the accountability, the responsibility, and the weight of it, and then walking in that manner versus like I get a little more leeway because I am not the director of the ER. Not saying that I get to do whatever I want.
No. Like let me pause right there.
Yes.
Jesus knows I will hold him to a much higher standard because there is that pressure.
But nonetheless, like the my fellow coworkers don't look at me like the way that they will look to Josh. Should something go down, like Josh is all who we are all gonna look to, because again, he's that admin, he's that leader. So yeah.
Do you fraternize with the other nurses?
Not to the extent that I used to, because I can't. Like there is a seriousness that I have to have as a director and as a leader. That's probably the hardest part is I don't get that camaraderie that I used to. And even with the people I work with, like my coworkers now that are fellow directors, I'm the youngest one by like 20 plus years. Like I think the other youngest person or that's in leadership, she's my boss. And I mean, she's got me by closing on 20 years. So it's harder to connect with that, and to where in in an environment, I'm used to that nursing environment to where we are kind of messing around with each other and we can kind of say whatever we want. And I mean, we were all friends, and I can't really be friends in the same capacity that I could be as a director. And that's probably the hardest part for me.
Did you have to figure that out, or
I'm still figuring out.
did you like know right away, like, oh, I have to back off? And
Well, I knew intellectually that I had to, but I'm still trying to figure out even what that fine line that I'm walking, because it's this fine line of, like Jesus said, like I do get a little. There's times where I'll get a little offended where I'm like, yeah, I guess I am talking like admin. Because there's some insecurity there, but it's like that fine line of I'm on your side, but also, hey, there's a standard here that we have to meet. And I mean, we've created a group within, just side note, in my hospital, we've created a group of charges, and even in the nursing staff in general, that I'm proud of. And I'm extremely proud of the culture that we're creating there.
It's not a mean girl culture, is it?
No,
a bunch of clicks.
There's always Mingles. There's always a Regina George. No, but also, and there is, like Josh said, there is a fine line. But again, I will hype this man up. But he does do a good job. I think a good leader, yes, he does have to walk in the admin role and the leader role, but still does a good job at getting to know his nurses. Like trust me, I've been under terrible leadership. At multiple hospitals I've traveled, and I see a disconnected leadership. The leadership that acts like and treats the nurses like it's just another number. Like you can leave, and I'll just hire anyone that don't really care. But Josh, like you can tell that he cares. So he takes time to know his nurses. Like he'll walk the floor, and he'll jump into situations, or he'll help, and also like he'll ask questions. So yes, he doesn't get to like mess around. Like I get to call other nurses out, or because we're coworkers. But Josh still takes time to get to know them and connect with them, all of us, and he does a good job.
How many years of experience between the two of you?
between the two of us,
Like if you add us together,
Yeah.
I've been a nurse for 8 years.
been a nurse for 6. Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
14.
14 years.
There you go.
I was running out of fingers.
What about like televangelists and like big pastors, big leadership, where they're like making tons of money off of what they're preaching? The Joel Osteens and the Kenneth Copelands. And
I was talking with my buddy, because my buddy Josh, he's kind of one of the bigger like Christian YouTubers. Or no, he's not a YouTuber. He's a TikToker. I guess Instagram.
he's
Yeah,
like Christian TikTok.
yeah. Christian TikTok, Christian Instagram. And what's their
Influencer?
Like unhinged,
influencer?
unhinged Christian. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
more like an influencer.
yeah,
Use the
like
word influencer like in the comedy sense. He
Yeah.
jumps into the
Mhm.
comedy, like satire, but also like calling people out.
Yeah, it's
in a
Church
fun-
Chad. There it is. Church Chad. That's him. So shout out Church Chad on
And
it.
he also has unhinged
Yeah.
Christian.
Is he on? I don't know that one.
Yeah, he does.
Wait, and this is a friend of yours?
Yeah, he went to my bachelor party. I mean, he's one of my buddies.
That's awesome.
Local?
But
Local?
No,
he's
SFA.
yeah,
SFA student.
he's from Longview, or
Oh,
from
that's not-
White House, I guess. Or
White
White
House.
House. Just I guess Longview or Tyler. I don't know what it is. I'm still learning East Texas. But me and him were having that. He posted something about a pastor that had a private jet, and it was like, for me, I guess I differentiate between your personal assets and the money that you've made on your own versus the money that is used, that's supposed to be for the congregation. And I mean, I'm definitely open to criticism on this take, but uh, I man, now that I'm talking about it, I can I kind of want to go back a little bit because, like we were talking about before, you're affecting other people now at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm still like, obviously, I'm still kind of battling with what I think. I think it's such a um gray area, if that makes sense. So in the televangelist sense, I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't have a formulated opinion on it.
Hmm.
I'm still morphing.
Yeah. It's hard because you have like the flip side to it. I would feel like you have the unhealthy Christians or the religious Christians that tell like that there's this preach of like you can't like be wealthy, you can't enjoy worldly things. But I do think uh I think we're called to enjoy like things in life, but it's when they become idols, right? So on the flip side, like there became this like movement that like true Christians are supposed to be martyrs and like whip themselves and live in wearing loincloths. And I'm like, no. Um, but on the flip side to it, like I do think like if you're a pastor and you're wearing like even if like all your sales come from like personal investments and all that stuff, and you're out here like wearing like a $10,000 shirt, like like where's your money going to, bro? And like how much are you caring about your appearance that we're putting that much money into like a shirt? So like finding that middle ground, which again, it's all about the heart, and there's no true or like hard rule.
Mm,
But I would say like I would just look at your life. But
the
again,
fruits of it.
I don't get to look at your life.
Mm,
But again, you're choosing to step in that role. So yeah, you're gonna take some of that authority and that weight. And I'm like, there's that verse that like if it causes your brother to stumble,
mhm.
Mhm.
so but then it's like it's an unhealthy stumble. It's just somebody that's jealous and it's like, well, why don't I have that kind of money? You
Well, the
should
thing
have
is,
that
none of
money.
us have been there, so we
Yeah.
don't actually know
Oh
what
yeah,
we
yeah.
would
True that.
There used to be this
do in that situation.
there used to be this Instagram account, and I forgot what it was. It was like Pastors Kicks or Pastors. It was I'm a shoe guy, so I was following these. It was talking about either the watches or the shoes that these pastors are wearing. There's a pastor, and he was a big pastor, I think at in what's that church in California that's
Bethel.
not Bethel. It was in like LA area. He I'm trying to remember, but he wore some like off whites, some Nike off whites that are like $5,000-$6,000 shoes on stage. And he was like, "Oh, they were gifted to me."
Mm.
And it's like, and then it was creating this dialogue or this discord between two sides of like, well, what should a pastor do? And it's like it goes back to that same conversation. Pastors are held to a higher standard. It's kind of like this. Oh, preachers and sneakers. That's exactly what it is. Preachers and sneakers. Um, and it goes into like how expensive these shoes are, or like how much their watches are, or their shoes.
Mm.
And it was interesting because it created a very needed conversation in that space
Yeah.
because these mega church pastors were having this
From
expensive
what I
wardrobe.
from what I understand, there's a certain amount of them that like most of their personal money comes from like their books and stuff,
Mhm.
things that they've written. Um, I don't know. We were watching White Lotus the other day, and I turned to my wife and I'm like, if we had the kind of money to go on a vacation like this, I'd have a hard time. I don't know, like in my current mindset, like spending $30,000-$40,000 to go to Hawaii for a week,
Mhm.
it's like there's other people out there who could really use that money. We could just go
Mhm.
camping for a couple grand.
Mhm.
And even that's an expensive camping trip.
Now remind me, season 1 was in Hawaii, correct?
I think so.
And then I think season
We've
2
watched
was
2
in
episodes as of yet, so
season 2 was in Italy or Greece.
oh.
I will say season 3 was in Thailand, and me and my wife looked up the replica resort that they were staying in, which is actually quite affordable.
Well, there we go.
Mm.
But yeah, but then I'll pose the argument of like, if let's say if you had that kind of money and you did take only the $2,000 trip, what are you gonna do with the rest of the money? Like, are you out here truly giving it out?
Well, that would be the. I mean, I think that would be the intention. Like you're doing other, things that will you'll either reinvest the money so it can continue to grow, or you benefit others. Again, like that's speaking from this perspective, not being in Joel Osteen's shoes or
Mhm.
Jesse Duplantis or some guys like that issues. But like you mean, and like say the private jet. Okay, private jets are tools. Someone who's like Elon Musk level, for example, can't fly commercial.
Mm.
He literally can't do it. He has to have a private jet. And you can probably put Kenneth Copeland in the same class. But there's all do you need the giant mansion? Do you need
Mhm.
do you need all that stuff?
And that's that.
But it's also investments on the other side. Like, are you just protecting your investment? And also you draw a certain congregation by having those things. Like the guy who's wearing the nice sneakers, may draw a bigger congregation than the guy who doesn't have nice sneakers. Is there an argument there? Probably not.
Well, and there's also like there's also the argument of, I mean, what's the crowd that you're trying to reach too, and that
Yeah. But if it's a superficial crowd that's only showing up for your sneakers, I don't know about that either.
Yeah, but then who's to say that the Lord won't use that too?
Yeah, exactly.
the beer
Again,
crowd. I mean,
we're playing a lot of.
I know.
I mean, there's a
It's like-
lot of different. No, yeah, it's a
Safe Savage, a friend,
Mhm.
Randall, they were bar ministry and they go to bars on Sunday at 2 p.m. and preach.
Mhm.
And half the crowd drinks and they just do it. And then there's people who come out and they quit drinking and they've had people in the congregation who like started going just like, oh, I can drink on Sunday
Mhm.
at church. And then it's like now they're sober and they found a church and they're
Mhm.
like headed down a different path.
well, it's like,
It's like
the when the disciples were going to Jesus and they're like, this guy over here is preaching
Simon.
about you. Yeah, he's preaching about you over here, and Jesus said, let him. He's spreading my name.
yeah.
Let him talk about me. It's
Yeah.
I mean, and that so it comes down to intention. It comes down to where your heart's at, and then the fruits will show from there. But it is a very convoluted.
I think it's important also to understand that the audience is the one who creates those people. The audience is always the one who creates the star. And they're somewhat culpable in that. And I think that's where it's important as like a follower of Jesus to follow of Jesus, not a preacher.
Yep.
And to keep that in check.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Just did full circle on that, I think.
Yeah. You pulled up Righteous Gemstones earlier. I think we watched an episode and a half of that, and like I couldn't keep going. I gotta shut this off.
Couldn't stomach it.
Just making me mad.
Mostly Danny McBride. I just can't.
You don't like Danny McBride?
No, I can't at all.
I think it's funny.
Almost every single movie, like the only movie that I like that he is in is Tropic Thunder, and it's not because he's in it.
The curly head.
Curly
he always
chunker
had a
guy.
prime and, like,
Sometimes he has a mullet.
Eastbound and Down.
He's just so obnoxious. I'm sorry. I'm sure he's a nice person. Maybe. I don't know.
Seems all right.
It's all right. Fine. But it's
I
fine.
need to use the restroom real quick.
If he's anything like his characters, he's not a nice person. Let's put it that way. But hopefully he's not like his characters.
No, he's not like his characters at all. But so, Jesus,
Yes.
you said you didn't grow up being a guys, boys. What type of hobbies would you qualify as not falling into that?
I mean, like, for example, currently, right? Currently, I'm a reader. And I was talking to Lisa about that. Like, not a lot of guys are out here reading.
Reading.
Yeah.
I'd
Reading.
say reading is a fairly masculine, refined hobby.
I feel like if you look at, and
Well,
it maybe, and then
I mean, I
maybe
guess it depends
it's,
on what you're reading.
and maybe it's the world that I'm looking at right now. Now I will say I also like a good romantasy.
So, reading
but-
women's romance novels.
No, it's
Akin to-
it's fantasy. I stay in the fantasy route, and that does have some guys in it. But like, if I look at Bookstagram, a lot of the influencers that I like, and I like, it's mostly girls, and I'm okay with that. Like I said, I don't have a problem. I grew up, but like a lot of, like Lacey has a lot more friends who are girls that she can talk to, and like they read books together and stuff. And I'm like, I don't really have like no guys in my life are out here truly reading.
You want to start a book club?
Listen, let's do it.
Come on, bro.
I mean, I'm fine with that.
Do
But like
it.
I said, but again, how many guys you know that are out here reading?
If I had an intentional book club that had required reading, yeah, I would probably read a lot more.
Exactly. And like, for example, Lacey is part of a book club, even through our church, like not through our church, but like ladies in our church. And Lacey has like at least 3 or 4 of her closest friends are readers like her, and they'll read a lot. And I'm like, I know a lot of guys. Like Caleb, who used to be the youth pastor, he was a big fantasy reader, but then he left right when I started reading.
Yeah.
Like Josh and I are not out here reading books together. It's one of those where I understand that there's guys that read, but I'm like, they're not as out here that much.
Which that is very interesting because historically, I would almost argue that women were not allowed to read.
Well, historically.
But maybe because they weren't allowed to read, they became the readers. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe you can argue that. I don't know, but I feel like if you look at the reading population, like I said, even now, like if I look at the book talkers that I follow, most of them are like ladies. And like I said, now you could also argue, well, it's the kind of books that you read. And I do like a good romantasy. I'm not out here reading a lot of like pure romance, but give me a good fantasy with a good romance story, and man, shout out like Fourth Wing, incredible dragon life, but also, hey, it's a good romance right there. A little smutty, but it's fun.
Completely thought you just made a linguistic error when you said romantasy.
No, romantasy is a thing. Romantasy has become a genre of reading.
Fantasy romance.
It's fantasy with it. That romance is as heavy is as important in the plot. Now then you have the extra subcategory that has smut, and that's like extra dirty. But what I like about reading is you can flip through those pages very easily. Like some people are like, "Oh, well, it's tempting," and I mean, yes, and it can make you stumble if you like sit there and read through it. But the nice thing about reading is you just skim the page. If you see trigger words, you just flip that page, and I just keep flipping until I stop seeing R-rated words, and then I'm like, there we go. That sex scene is done, and then I'm back on like the storyline.
It's funny watching. It's funny watching my wife because you'll see her reading on the.
His wife is a reader.
Yes,
you see,
my wife
there it is.
You'll see she'll be sitting on the couch reading, and she'll be like, just kind of flipping, and then she'll reach a page, and you'll just hear flip, flip, flip. It's like, oh, baby, just sex scene. She's like, yeah, I didn't read that. So he's absolutely right.
Words, penis, blah 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 blah, and then he just flipped that page.
Right.
You see throbbing member, you're like, I'm gonna move on.
Exactly.
Well, personally, I
as a bit of a sip.
As a young teenager, I could spend probably 4 or 5 hours in a Barnes and Noble, like just get lost in there, and not necessarily even reading anything, but just looking. I mean, as a pastime, growing up, we would just go to the library and just walk the aisles and look at all the different books and reading different books. So. But yeah, as life got more complicated and we started having kids, I will admit, I probably haven't read a book in a while. So let's start that book club and let's get back to reading. Let's
that's what we're getting in. We're getting a book club.
Back when I did construction, like I listened to lots of audiobooks because you're laying flooring and like you listen 8 hours a day. So I went through all of Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones and most of Wheel of Time and like all those things I got through listening. I'm not sure it quite counts when you listen. Isn't it?
Oh, that is the spicy take on in a discussion in the book world. I will stand on it does count. And my wife will tell you that.
I think it counts from a consumption standpoint, but
but as long as you're intaking the information, you're intaking the story. I mean, that is the thing. Like, some people argue like, no, it's not the same as reading, but sometimes some of these people are also snobs. I'm a book person, but I'm not on the snob part of things.
Just coffee.
Just coffee. Coffee I will be a little bit. Even in the coffee, like I'll drink some drip and be okay with it. But that being said, so like I think if you're listening to an audiobook, you're still engaging different like you're still engaging your imagination, you're still engaging like the components that I think make reading great. So I would say you still like it does count because you're still like taking in the
Yeah.
story. Now, as far as the benefits of reading, now that I don't know, and I don't know if they've done studies of like because actual reading also does benefit like different parts of your brain. So now I would be interested to see like people do studies, like, especially now that audiobooks are more popular, to see does it still have the same benefits in like reading versus an audiobook. But if
And
you ask me, it does count.
I'll insert this too. I don't read the romanticises. I honestly don't read fiction in general. I'm more of a very nonfiction self-help. That's kind of my alley, and that's what I really like. That's what I enjoy reading. I can't listen to that on audiobook though. I've tried. You try putting Unseen Realm on an audiobook, good luck. It's just not happening. I'm one of those guys that has to like my wife will go through about 4 or 5 books in a month, and I'll be still on my same book for about 2 months because I'm one of those that's a slow reader. I'm like, ooh, I like that. Highlight, tag. Like that's just my style of reading. And
you ruin the books.
Say yeah.
You ruin the resale value on your
Oh,
books.
100%. No, I'm not reselling those. Those are mine.
I will say, and Lacey used to tell me this, and at first I didn't believe her, but it's also the type of books you read that change the speed and stuff. Because I was like that. I used to only read nonfiction self-help books. Let's read a good theology book. And I still enjoy that from time to time. But now that I'm reading just nonfiction, like fiction stuff, like you read through those way faster, even if you're not, because I'm not a fast reader. Lacey will devour a book and she'll read 200 pages in 30 minutes versus like, I'm still
What's
in
her
the same
What's
chapter.
her comprehension like?
Oh man, she'll devour it, and she knows. She can tell you everything. She's a reader. She's been reading since she was little, and um. But anyways, but I read a lot faster when it's like fiction versus nonfiction, because when it's like a nonfiction book, like a self help or a Christian book, theology book, you're trying to like comprehend like deep things, or even if they're not super deep, but like topics and stuff, and you're trying to learn. Versus like if you're reading a story, like you're playing that and you're reading that, and you're like, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Yeah. So like I read way faster fiction books than I do nonfiction.
And the whole purpose of go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, do you guys pronounce the words in your head as you're reading?
I stopped. Or I like slowly fade off of that, but I used to. Which I think that's how you become a speedier.
Yeah, you have to. Well, yeah, because I think you can tap out around 250 when you pronounce. I pronounce the words like if I try to speed read, I lose comprehension, so I stay around 250. Whereas my wife can read like 700 words a minute. So,
Have you guys?
but that you're reading pictographically when you do that. Like you're seeing pictures as you're reading. You're not pronouncing the words.
I've seen a hybrid of reading and audiobook at the same time.
That's what
That is
I was about to bring that in.
That
That's
is
what I
the
do.
new thing right now, especially because also the new thing right now too, or I say new, I don't know, or what I see in social media. It's also the word is not theatrical, but maybe it is theatrical audiobooks where they act out the audiobook too. So you're hearing like
The
a
different
battle
inflections
scene and the
voice.
different stuff. Yeah.
And the audio, it's all audio.
It's all audio, so it's not
You're not
visual.
going to see a stage.
No, you're not seeing a stage play, but you're hearing like, and people are really loving that. Like they redid the Fourth Wing books with those, and I was talking to a friend at another hospital that I work at, and she was like, "Oh, it's so much fun because like you hear battle scenes in the background, and they'll throw in sounds and."
So this is kind of the tail end of, you know, that idea of mixing the audio with reading it, right? But you guys know the movie Dungeons and Dragons recently came out a couple years ago.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
Well, Chris Pine is the head of it.
Mhm.
Anyway, so we started watching it. Me and my wife started watching it, and we accidentally had clicked on the audio description, and it plays out like a D&D game, if you will, while in the dialogue just runs so well with it that my wife actually enjoyed the movie even more with the audio description because it's for the blind.
Mhm.
And
Differently sight disabled. I don't know what we're saying.
I think they're still blind. But
Yes, they are still blind.
No matter what you call them, they're still blind.
but yeah, so definitely, might be one to check out because the narrator narrated it as if it was an actual game of D&D, and then obviously the voices, the audio came through that was regularly tracked. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, and the audio people, the audio world, the audiobook world will tell you also that whoever the narrator is will make or break that book. If you get yourself a good narrator that puts like good like emotion and emphasis and does the different voices, they'll enjoy that a lot more than and today, blah blah. Like it makes a big difference. So I think because again, you're engaging the different.
And Lauren will always my wife will always make comments on that if I'm listening to an audiobook, she'll be like, "Oh, that narrator sucks." And I mean, I guess it really does make
Yeah. And then you get used to like the same narrator again, like because they do this for a living. So you find the same person across multiple books, and you're like, oh.
What I really appreciate is authors that narrate their own books. And so like Brene Brown is one of those where I adore her.
What if they have a terrible voice?
She's got when I found out about Brene, it was through TED Talks, and so I really like the way that she did her TED Talks. And so when I was listening to her books, I was like, she does a great job. That's the only self-help book that I've actually listened to on audiobook and really, really enjoyed was Dare to Lead. And she's the one that narrates it.
You know who I think narrated their own book was William Shatner.
Of course.
I think that would be funny.
Of course. So what makes a good romantasy?
Again, it depends on who you're talking to.
Talking to you.
If you talk to me, just a good romance, like a good tension between the lead, the FMC, and the MMC.
Whoa! What?
Female main character, male main character. That you have to have a good tension. So I'm a big fan, but you have different tropes. My favorite trope is enemies to lovers. Because you have that tension of like we don't like each other at first, but there's some maybe even some attraction. So I like that. I like when there's that tension of like I don't like you at first, we hate each other. Especially in the fantasy world, a lot of times one is trying to kill the other. And then you get to a point where the story switches or something happens and it draws them together and they start like breaking down that enemies and they switch onto lovers where they're acknowledging their feelings for each other, their attraction for each other. To me, that along with a good world building, a good plot, that is probably my favorite. To me, what else? But some people really like I said, you have the world that really likes the smuttiness, so they'll rate it based on the smuttiness. It's not dirty enough for me, and I'm like, I don't really care about that. But yeah, no, just give me good character building. Like when you begin to see the characters grow and change. Like I read a book and the characters just felt flat, that they were not really growing. They're just like happy-go-lucky. There's not a lot of good tension versus like I'll refer because it's probably my favorite series, like Fourth Wing. Like you see Violet grow, you see Zayden grow, like you see even like Dane, who you hate in the beginning. Well, you like him at first, and then you hate him, and then he redeems himself. Like things like that, where you see these characters like get redeemed, and then you have sassy dragons, even better. Come on. But yeah, a good magic system is also really fun. Sorry, I'll geek out.
Say, what kind of magic system was you like? Hard magic or soft magic?
Like I really like elemental.
What's the difference between hard magic and soft magic?
Hard magic system has very defined, clear rules that the characters have to abide by.
Harry Potter?
Harry Potter's kind of soft.
Yeah, Harry Potter is more soft because they get to do more.
Yeah. I think Wheel of Time would be hard, but it's kind of hard because
I didn't really see Wheel of Time.
So. I didn't see it either. I think I got through 5 books. At any rate, like a hard system is where you have clearly defined rules that cannot be broken. A soft system, like Lord of the Rings, is like very soft. Like there's really not clearly defined rules. Characters just do things as it's needed. But also they don't jump outside of the realm of their abilities either. Like they don't ex machina, except for those eagles. But
Going back to what Jesus said, and I have a question are any of y'all like anime people, like manga guys?
Oh yeah.
So like, I look at series like, and admittedly there's some nostalgia with it, but like with Dragon Ball, I feel like it's most characters in Dragon Ball are real flat. I mean, look at the main character, Goku. Probably one of the flattest characters you'll ever see, but it's such a successful series. Do you feel like there's like a difference in that?
define flat.
There's no growth with him.
He's the same person at the beginning as he is at the end.
I mean, and I haven't gotten to Dragon Ball Super, so I can't speak on that. But like from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z, even with having children and being married, he remained pretty much the most flat character you can, at least from my vantage point.
Well, and
Well, like, one question though, like with flat art characters though, is like sometimes they work really well because they become like, lighthouses, or like they're a sure point in the story that you can follow from a moral arc. They start with a good moral and they end with a good moral.
Mhm.
And so you can look to them as an example. Paddington is a flat art character.
Mhm.
Paddington doesn't change from the beginning
Honestly.
to the end of the story. The characters around him change.
I don't know. Have you seen Paddington 2?
Does he change?
No, I haven't seen Paddington 3. But in Paddington 2, he doesn't change there either.
I feel like
People
he's
around
always
him
that
change.
goofy, that clumsy, goofy guy.
Yeah.
That
But he's got a good heart and that doesn't change.
yes, I can see that.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's what his character is designed to be. He's designed to make others change, versus him.
Mhm.
Like we throw an anime like Aang. Aang grows a lot.
Mhm.
And the airbender, he
Mhm.
grows a lot. He starts out from a naive young kid and then has to grow.
Is that considered anime though?
I'm not sure Airbender was considered anime.
But it was.
I think so.
It's not then.
I think the critics are gonna roast us.
You're
No, I don't think
That's
that.
fine.
You'll get it. You'll get it. My little brother would have been.
because it's
Jump right
Nickelodeon.
in.
It's Nickelodeon.
Now you've gotten canceled.
That's fine.
Right?
I think
But
so.
but fair. But continue. Sorry, I didn't mean
Okay
to.
with that. No, it's okay.
But it's
It's still a very good story with a
Great
huge
series.
fan base
Mhm.
that a lot of people didn't like.
I guess maybe it's a book.
Well, it's because it's not created. If in order for it to
Korra
be
was
anime, it has to be created in.
My
Japan.
kids really liked it.
Korra was
They watched
great.
all of Airbender and then they watched all of
Here's what I
Korra.
hate, but Korra was great.
That
It's
rhymed.
for what it was. It's a different. Anyway,
Well, I mean that's the one because I made the exact same mistake around my little brother, and he told me Avatar's not anime. Yeah.
it is.
So anime refers specifically to Japanese animation. Distinct visual style, often characterized by detailed backgrounds, vibrant colors, often incorporates elements of Japanese culture. While anime can encompass various genres and target audiences, it's generally considered a distinct art form with its own conventions and fan base. So, based on that, I think because it wasn't animated in Japan, although they are
That was in Korea. But it's like
Japan.
it's in English. I think they had a Korean team doing it,
possibly, yeah.
but it's made by Nickelodeon.
The Avatar, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same. I mean, it's got a lot of similar animation, a lot of similarities, but it wasn't created in Japan, so it makes it not anime.
Now, I will say back to what is anime, and real life. What is y'all's take on them redoing these animation cartoons I mean, we're talking Disney. We're talking
Making the live action stuff.
live
love
action
it.
stuff. You like them?
Beauty and the
Hot
Beast.
take.
Live action Beauty
Oh,
and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast is fantastic. First of all, they put Emma Watson. Heck yes. Like, no, like, few women can represent Belle the way Emma Watson is. Intellectual, beautiful, powerful. Bam, Belle. But even like, man, I just watched How to Train Your Dragon. Fantastic.
Was it good?
Oh, incredible.
Okay.
Like, it just appeals again to the nerdy dragon self side, the fantasy side of things, but I don't know, it draws the characters and it makes them just cooler. I don't know. I like it, but maybe some people don't like it. Like, I really liked Airbender. They made it live. Fantastic. They did a really good job.
The show.
The show
The show,
or the
yeah. The show.
M. Night Shyamalan.
No,
Movie.
no,
the
no,
movie
no,
wasn't good.
no, the show. They made Airbender into like a
Yeah.
live action, and they did such a good job, and they stay true to the episodes. One Piece, I felt like they did a good job.
Oh, One Piece was fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, Lion King,
I don't know.
I think that's the only live action one I've actually seen.
really.
Disney live action of The Lion King. Yeah.
My issue with it is I feel like we're leaning too much on nostalgia now, and it's
Oh yeah.
pulling away from creativity.
No, everything's a remake. Everything's a sequel.
And I think that's where my biggest issue with it is it's taking away from creativity and moving more to monetary.
But if you could make $1 billion,
Oh, I mean, no, I don't blame them. I don't blame them whatsoever. But I mean, like Jesus said, I mean, I was like, there's a child inside of you that wants to, like, the nerdy dragon lover, or like for me or for Jesus, like it was
did
like
you
Lion
have
King.
controversy around this one?
Well, I brought this up because
This is the
Disney
newest Pixar.
actually came out the Elio
Mm.
movie. I heard it was really good, really,
I saw the Flickster
whatever.
stuff, reviews for it. And
But
like,
it did not do as well as Disney had hoped, and they came out and said, somebody in the Disney corporate office said, "Oh yeah, see, when we try and do original stuff, you guys don't want to go out and spend money and watch it."
Yeah, I've heard the Foster world spoke very well of that, because it's centered around kinship care. Again, I haven't seen the movie, but I believe he's being cared for by his grandmother or an aunt. So the foster world was talking about it, and they were doing, because they were also doing trigger warnings, because I think at some point they were trying to take him away. Maybe I'm not fully sure that one. Don't quote me on that one, but I saw good reviews about that. But yeah, I mean, it didn't do good in the box offices, and yeah, I mean, exactly to your point. Like, people ask, "Oh, I want creative new things," but then they get upset when it's not.
so, and now that I've got opinions on this too. So
That's why you're here,
You've got the Disney guy that's blaming the general audience. You're creating a product. You need to appeal. This product needs to be appealing to mass audiences. So what are mass audiences looking at? We're on streaming. We're on YouTube. I have never seen a single ad for that movie. Only time I knew about it was from sometimes I'll go on the Flickster app and I'll look at the reviews, and I saw, oh, that looks cool, and Pixar made a new movie. Finally, they made an original movie. I might go watch that.
A lot of Pixar movies though have been getting not canned, but like just kind of like tossed out there without much marketing at all, or just thrown straight on streaming.
And then you got the Disney guy blaming the mass audience, or we put out Lilo and Stitch live action, and you guys are coming to that. Well, yeah, I mean,
I think the last good movie Pixar actually made, in my opinion, was Coco.
Coco's so good.
Oh,
I love Coco.
we're gonna
But he's
there's great movies that have come out since Coco.
What's their list since then? I mean,
Encanto, which was really good.
that's not Pixar.
Oh, you're right.
That's
It's
Disney.
not.
What Pixar movies have come out since Coco?
Pixar is
did they
Disney.
do the split?
Elemental
Oh, Elemental was great. Oh, my
didn't
God.
jive with me.
Luca was great. I didn't like
Luca
Luca.
was fantastic.
Couldn't engage with.
I haven't watched Turning Red.
Turning Red was
I didn't
great.
engage with that one either. It's like, to me, it's like Incredibles, Finding Nemo.
Well, I mean, but you think about it, like Incredibles, Finding Nemo. How old were you?
Ratatouille is one of my favorite movies of
How
all
old were you when
time.
those were coming out?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't understand that.
Yeah. So I mean, like, and there's also like this.
I was a teenager, so yeah, I'd have been 19 when Ratatouille came out.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw a lot of ads. I saw a lot of ads for Elio on the flip side of that kind of argument, but
What do you watch, man?
but again, Disney, we have a kid, so we see a lot of ads for that. So I mean, it stayed in that, but arguably that's who they're trying to appeal to, kids. So he's watching all these Disney shows, Disney movies. The ads pop up for Elio. So I mean, I knew Elio was coming, and now is truly.
Yeah,
I didn't get a chance to see it.
It's coming for you, Josh.
Oh, I mean, look,
It's
I'm
coming
excited.
for you.
Mine's
didn't
finally
get
getting
to see
into
it.
Rachel.
And
we had to go. We had to go see the new Jurassic Park yesterday because that's what my kids are into. Like,
I don't want to see.
How was it?
Mm.
Okay.
Dang.
Okay.
Okay.
as the original, I say, is my favorite movie.
Ever?
Whether that's true or not,
Ever?
it's basically my long term. Like, Jurassic Park is one of the best movies ever made.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then most of them after that are like they're just frustrating.
Mhm.
And maybe that's just me being a sour.
The
fan.
first
I
the
don't
first
know.
Jurassic World was good. I would say that
I would
with
say I
Chris
would
Pratt.
rate that as number 3, like, or number 2 or 3. Like Jurassic, The Lost World, I like for nostalgic reasons
Mhm.
because that did come out when I was 9. And I watched that a bunch of times. So like, well, we watched it the other day because the kids were going through the series before we go see the new one, and we watched The Lost World. And I'm like, God, what are you doing those stupid things for? Like, oh, so many mistakes. This doesn't even make sense. And it's that area in Spielberg's career where like if you really watch him, there's things that just don't make logical sense because they're made for like the moment and the emotion on the screen.
Mhm.
They're not made to actually make sense in reality.
Well, we can
He
talk
does that a lot.
talk about long running series. Have you all seen 28 Years Later yet?
I haven't. No,
Did you guys ever get to
I've
that?
actually never seen any of them.
I haven't
I
either,
haven't
but I've
either.
heard nothing but good things about them.
Well, I know the filmmakers did a lot.
I've
of
heard
good
bad
help
things
getting
about the
this
new one.
I've heard the full fixture. I think it's like
Dr.
90.
Jones hated
You know, I'm not a zombie person. I've always been big into zombie.
zombies.
it.
I'm a zombie fantasy.
Oh.
A zombie romantasy. Did you see Warm Bodies?
Yeah. It was so good. And again, it was probably a trash movie. But
It's Romeo and Juliet with zombies.
yes,
Ah.
and it was so
Wow.
good. It was
My wife really likes that movie.
What about
I also like Nicholas.
Sinners?
Nicholas
What
Hoult.
about that one? Have you seen
I've
Sinners?
not seen Sinners.
Sinners was fantastic. Incredible.
Hmm.
Found in the movies, fantastic. Have you seen it?
No,
Okay.
but I like Michael B. Jordan.
So
So
music and vampires.
It truly is incredible. I made the joke that it was the prequel to Twilight, and Ben commented on that. Yeah, no, it was just a really good movie. That's it. I like monsters. I like things like that. So
it's also getting people back into movie theaters as well. I mean, there was this huge shift during COVID where
Yeah.
it moved really. I mean, and streaming was already kind of heading towards where we're at now, but then COVID hit, and then streaming just became the big thing. And so you look at movies like it was Elio, is how you say it. That's in Elio, sorry. But you move. You're having, it says in theaters only, so you're having to get people into the theaters.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people like me. I haven't been to a movie theater, and I'm probably the reason why Nacogdoches no longer has a movie theater because
I mean, I used to go a lot before I got married, and then Katie's not a big movie theater person, and then you have a bunch of kids. They've been going a lot now because they went to see How to Train Your Dragon.
some
know
of
if they
them
went
for kids' movies.
My youngest is big, or no, second youngest, big into How to Train Your Dragon.
Mhm.
Big into it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's a
My kids are little critics too, like ultra little critics.
there's magic to seeing it in the movie theater though.
Mhm.
It's an experience. But I do agree with you. I think the pandemic kind of took that away. But I don't know. Like Lacey and I are big movie people. We love going to the movies. When we were a little more financially strong, we used to have the AMC MoviePass, which was fantastic. You pay $20 per person, and you get it's up to 3 movies per week. So if you went even twice or 3 times,
Mm.
it more than
Paid
paid
for
itself 100%. And it was fantastic because it allowed us to go see movies that we would have normally not gone because you're like, I'm not going to take the risk. Like we went and saw Cats, and it was terrible. But we walked out and it was disappointing. But we were like, we didn't pay for that because we don't.
I enjoyed Cats.
It was
You like
Not because it was a good movie.
You
I
like
just-
the eyebrow.
There was some. I don't even know if it was ironic, but I'm like, this is amusing.
It was.
I was amused. It was terrible, but I was amused.
But that's good. Sometimes some things are so bad that you're like, okay, yeah.
yeah,
But anyways,
but it wasn't a Neil Breen movie. Like,
no.
you know.
But movie, I don't know. But most people were like, I'm just gonna wait for it to come in the streaming service, and it's true. It does that, and people wait. But I don't know. I do think there's an experience of going on a date night, or even bringing your kids. Like we started bringing, so he's kind of getting to that age where she can kind of sit through in a movie theater, only if it's like a really like kids movie. But it'll hold her attention, and so it's something fun. Are we spending our money? Yes, of course, but it's about that experience. You go there. Now they've got reclining chairs, so you get to recline a little bit.
I miss the AMC here.
Oh,
I miss the
It's
seats.
so sad.
I miss. I liked it here. I didn't want to go to Lufkin.
Mhm.
No.
No, it was
Take it
beautiful.
up with
It was
take
just
it up
kinda-
with Nacogdoches.
I think there's another one coming back from what I've heard.
I hope so.
I have some
They'll
HEB too.
they'll have my money. So
Oh,
like I said,
I'm more excited for that Aldi coming out.
Oh, the Aldi I'm pumped about as well.
man.
You guys and your Aldi.
Hey, now
Like
And
it's a struggle out here.
it is a struggle.
What's that?
It is a struggle out here.
Mm.
What makes a Quentin Tarantino movie? So someone that's into film. What makes like a Quentin Tarantino movie so special?
Style.
Style.
He's all style and no substance, but he does it.
Oh, you know substance. Like
he
just,
does it in a way though where you don't care.
I don't know. Like for me, Kill Bill or Pulp Fiction, like those are
Those have
some
more substance. So Kill Bill actually had a plot, but
Mhm.
you look at Pulp Fiction. There's no plot really in Pulp Fiction.
I mean, neither is like Dazed and Confused, but there's something about.
Yeah, and that's a highly stylistic movie, and it's few directors who can actually pull that off.
Mhm.
So yeah, Kill Bill has a plot, but like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood doesn't really have a plot. You're just following these people. It's more about being a love letter to old Hollywood,
Mhm.
masculine Hollywood. You know, before they killed it in the late 60s and 70s, or they just shifted, I should say. But like Reservoir Dogs kind of has a plot, but you're watching it for the style. You're watching him for the way he directs people, the way he writes dialogue, more than his plots.
Mm-hmm. I've seen like Inglorious Bastards and
Inglourious Basterds is one of my favorite movies.
oh, it's and I saw Hateful Eight a lot too. I've seen it a lot, and maybe it's just because the availability of it. But
I think the last time I watched that, I watched the extended version. I'm like, this is getting a little long. It's like 4 hours in, and this one cabin, and I'm like, I'm looking forward to Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey.
Summer.
Yeah, that's a year from now.
Summer.
Christopher Nolan. I am a huge advocate that Interstellar is his best movie, but I know a lot of people are like, no, Dark Knight, 100%. And what would y'all say rate your best Christopher Nolan
The
movie?
Prestige.
I haven't even seen
The
it.
Prestige
Oh
is
my gosh. What a throwback. I do love that Prestige. I don't know. Again, I don't know movies by their directors.
you watch The Prestige.
But now if you give me a list of his movies, I could tell you I do love The Dark Knight, but The Prestige was so good. And it had just a good plot twist.
It messes with time, it messes
Yeah.
with perspective. It's a good movie.
Mhm.
It's a top 10 for me. Dark Knight was good, but it's like I don't know. The material was already there, whereas like the Prestige, and is the Prestige based on a book? So it's
Not sure.
following Memento, Insomnia, Batman Begins, Prestige, Dark Knight, Inception, which was good, Dark Knight Rises, Interstellar, Dunkirk,
Yeah,
Tenet, and Oppenheimer.
out of that list, I would probably go Dark Knight.
Mhm.
It was so good.
But
It's one of the few movies I've seen twice in theaters.
I will also just go for it. I just like superhero movies. I'm just that kind of nerd. So maybe it just depends on.
But
the
like
kind of
his Batman
movie.
series isn't really like superhero movies not in the Marvel sense.
No, but I mean it's still like you get. I mean, yeah. What is cool about them is the superhero, but that's kind of who Batman is. Batman is not going to be like Superman. Like Batman is going to be messier.
I mean, your
Like,
anti-hero archetype.
But he's not fully an anti-hero. Not fully quite, but he is. I think he flirts with the line. I mean, he's a vigilante, and he's gonna be a little more. Versus like Superman is intended to be like
Justice in the American way.
exactly.
Yeah,
Your Captain America.
That's why I'm really curious to see
Like
what
if-
James Gunn's going to do with him, because James Gunn, like, he makes Guardians of the Galaxy and Suicide Squad. Like, what is that going to look like with Superman?
Mhm.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Will his humor work? I don't know. We'll find out in a week, I guess.
Yeah.
I saw Interstellar in the movies 4 times.
4 times.
Once
So
in IMAX and 4
the
times.
scene gets you where he's like watching his daughter grow up on the TV screen.
I was more into the black hole stuff.
You didn't have kids yet.
No, I didn't have kids at that point. I mean, it was 2014, so I hadn't even graduated high school yet.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen that movie. Sorry.
I watched Tenet. I found Tenet kind of fascinating. I'm not saying it was a good movie,
Really?
but it was as just a work of how are we on time?
Oh, good.
As just like a work, like a creation, like a filmmaking. Tenet is wild.
Mm-hmm.
because because like half the movie's going, well, a third of the movie's going backwards. Like,
I haven't seen it.
okay, so it's like it's there's a war going on where like in the future they figured out how to make things their chronology reverse.
Mhm.
So they're not like time traveling, they're just traveling backwards in time.
Mhm.
So if a person has gone through this machine that switches your chronology,
Mhm.
then you're moving backwards through time while everyone else is moving forward. So there's worlds are flipped. So there's all these things crossing over each other, going forward and backwards at the same time. And it's like it's kind of confusing to watch. Like you have to watch it like 4 or 5 times to really like what's going on here.
That sounds like I spent
A lot of
hour.
people like hated it for that reason.
Well, I spent like an hour last night trying to understand the concept of time dilation, and I just could not
No?
get it. I just couldn't get
The
it.
faster you go, the
Well, it's
slower you perceive or the slower you perceive time in relation to other people around you.
it's still. I'm just like, I don't know, man.
And then also theoretically, it's like when you get closer to a larger body of gravity, then time dilates, which is why, like in Interstellar, when he lands on the big planet, like an hour there is what, 7 years
Mm-hmm.
on Earth.
It's all Einstein's theory of relativity, and it is a lot for me to
I mean, I think the most they've come to proving it is that they were able to like show that like 2 atomic clocks got off from each other
Mm-hmm.
in experiments by having one go much faster than the other, but nobody's I don't think really proven it at like a large scale.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
'Cause I don't know where God fits into time dilation.
I don't either. Well, I mean, he doesn't.
Hmm.
He's outside of time, so.
Yeah, I'm not a sci-fi. I'm a nerd, but
Bible doesn't say that though.
I'm not a sci-fi.
Oh, I mean, you're right, and not explicitly.
No. Oh, anyway, yeah, movies. Jurassic Park was going back to that though, because I was hoping it would be all right, but I was apathetic.
Hmm.
And that's the worst emotion you want to have an audience. It's better if they hate you than if they don't care.
Yeah,
I could see that.
yeah.
It's like I couldn't engage with it.
I mean, he goes into like with to like your WWE or UFC people like that. You want to be the bad guy, or you can either be the bad guy or the good guy, but you don't want to be the guy. In the middle. I mean, it's
because they love to hate you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
There's money to be made in being the bad guy too.
Mm. How about the new Dune? When's Dune 3 coming out?
I don't think it is. They went with a TV series, and now,
Yeah, but he's doing Dune Messiah.
is he going to do it?
I believe he's supposed to be doing Dune Messiah. Like they ended it on a cliffhanger. Yeah, they did Chapter House
They
Dune.
did. They ended on a cliff.
Yeah. No, there's a Dune Messiah.
And I'll be sorry.
I think Villeneuve is an extremely good director.
The new one? Is that what you said?
Villeneuve is the director of the Dune series. So he did Prisoners, and then he did what was the Alien movie with Amy Adams and
Arrival.
Sicario, which is a really good movie. And then he did Dune, and then he did Blade Runner 2049. Yeah, so he was like the perfect guy to do Dune.
I'm scared to watch Dune, the last one, if they come out with it, because I know where the character's headed, and I'm not a fan.
After reading the book?
I haven't read the book, but from people that have ruined it for me.
Well,
dang, it's gonna go to a place I don't want it to go.
Where do you not want it to go?
Huh?
Where
I
do
don't
you
want him to turn into the bad guy. I know.
But that's the whole archetype.
I know.
That's the whole arc of the Dune series is no matter like if you become a leader, the people will make you do terrible things. Basically, leadership forces you into a position where you have to commit genocide.
That's why I don't like it.
Yeah. So he's got to kill like I don't know billions of people across millions of planets. I guess.
In gaming news, there's a new Dune game, which I've been getting clips of and pretty excited about. It's pretty cool. It's more of a survival RPG and kind of like a sandbox out there in the desert. You can build bases out there and attack other people's bases and things.
Are you guys like World of Warcraft and Blizzard?
Not World of Warcraft.
No.
I was a
MMORPGs.
I played some RPG games, but it's on GameCube.
Mm-hmm.
That's as far as I went.
Last game I was into was season 1 of why am I blanking on the name now? The one that all the kids still play.
Fortnite?
Season 1 of Fortnite.
Season 1.
That was the last time I
didn't
really
even know
played a
they
video
were in
game.
season.
It got into season 2, and then after that, I was done. But that was like at the tail end of my college, of being in college. And
Yeah,
I got better things to do.
Well, I can imagine being a nurse. You got to dedicate some time to studying and actually being a nurse.
Oh, and it was definitely summertime when I was in it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
My game playing is like every now and then I sit down and watch something or play something the kids want to watch.
Mhm.
But other than that, it's like,
I've teased at it, and my wife has said, "Dude, please don't do that.
please don't.
Please don't get into
Ever
it."
seen there's a skit where a guy's like, he figures out how to get his wife's attention. He just hits the PlayStation controller and the beep. It's like, what are you doing? What's going on?
That's funny. I feel like that's another bro hobby. Tying it back to the
Gaming.
beginning. Gaming.
It's not an attractive hobby. Women do not find it attractive,
Mhm.
But it's something that.
but they find
still-
reading attractive. Reading is like the number one attractive hobby in men.
How I seduced my wife.
Yeah.
Just kidding. But she's a
How did you seduce her?
I truly worked my way out of the friend zone. So
Mm.
I'm just being
I
consistent.
think I did.
And she says I also changed my style. I think I did used to dress a lot dark. Yeah. She's seen me through really rough faces. But that being said, yeah. I mean, I could see. I think people that read look, even if they're reading stupid stuff, they look intellectual. You see somebody sitting at a coffee shop reading, you're like, that guy looks a little intellectual. Even if you pay attention, you're like, oh, he's reading 50 Shades of Grey.
Mm.
But you're like, oh, he's reading. He looks intellectual.
You don't feel the same way when he's on a Switch?
No.
He's like,
You're like, oh, that guy's childish. So, but gaming is a bro's hobby.
how do some girls who get mad at you for saying that?
I agree. I'm not saying it's a boys only world, but I'm just saying like typically like those are
Yeah.
the bros.
Mm. So we're up to 104 casualties with the Central Texas flooding.
Yeah.
I need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
At the time of releasing
And then to the right.
releasing this episode, we're probably going to be 3 weeks in. The Texas floods at this point has killed at least 104.
Mhm.
It looks like 27 from this camp, Mystic, and they're still searching for more missing kids and people.
A lot of them were. I had
So what do you know what happened specifically? Because like I'm just kind of aware that, you know, we don't watch news at our house, so like you hear things here and there, but like what specifically happened? Just camping over 4th of July?
they
There was a
were
flash flood?
there's
No,
a
no,
flash
no.
flood,
They were at a camp, like a
Mhm.
summer camp.
like a
They were at a summer
Mystic.
camp.
Yeah, which is located right next to the Guadalupe River. And it was, I want to say it was early in the morning, wasn't it, Ben? Like 3 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
And it was one of those to where it was not anticipated to flood as much as it did. And it killed a lot of people.
I know they had like 20 foot of water. in
Yeah. I mean,
areas.
it was, obviously it's killed 104 now. But I mean, so much so, like, these are a lot of the, like, at a Camp Mystic, these are like 2nd and 3rd graders. And so like I would see my wife on the phone looking through, because she's a 2nd and 3rd grade teacher, and you could just see it on her face, like to the point where I was like, babe, you gotta step away from it.
Mm.
It was harsh. It was real bad.
That's rough.
It's a what are we doing here, Ben?
Well,
What are we doing?
the day before all this flooding occurred, there were some rumors about there's a weather modification company that's just south of that area
Mm-hmm.
that was doing some stuff. And so I was just researching to see if there was any updates with regards to a correlation between
Oh, they're saying that it could have
cloud
been
seeding.
like human manufactured.
I mean, was there rain in the forecast?
I believe there was, but it wasn't to the extent that they thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it was pretty pretty interesting coincidences,
Mm.
if you will, which is kind of funny because a local meteorologist there went on either Twitter, some social media or whatever, and wrote like this. I want to say it was an essay, essentially calling out that yes, there was cloud seeding going on. However, I'm a meteorologist. Trust me, bro.
Okay.
And it was like, okay. Did you really need a? Did you? I don't know. I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know enough about uh, weather modification and just the fact that they can and are doing that. Um, I don't know. It's just one of those things where, man, what are we doing? Why are we messing with nature?
Mhm.
Like, let's
You can
just
make it rain where it does.
let's leave it alone. I get it. It's gonna get hot. It's we need rain in certain areas, but maybe just leave it alone.
Mm.
You look it up, cloud seeding project in Texas, and then flooding
Yeah.
news.
Mm. I mean, nature used to kill a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's the area where they potentially are known to see the clouds in Texas.
Like for agricultural purposes?
Presumably, I mean these are very
dry
areas.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know why else they would be seeding clouds if not for agricultural.
Hmm.
Gotta love that paywall.
Yep.
Interesting.
But so I worked at a facility as a welder in a previous life, and the guys there would talk about HARP. Have you guys ever heard of HARP? HARP is a weather modification device or something, but components of that were supposedly built in Mineral Wells, Texas, where I was working.
Mhm.
And they had built it back, I don't know, maybe like in the 80s or 90s, I can't remember exactly, and shipped it up to I believe it's in Alaska near the poles somewhere. And yeah, so it's always been kind of fascinating for me as a light hobby, if you will, especially with the tinfoil conspiracy
Mhm.
about weather modification. It's like, and I just I don't get it. I don't get why human nature has to, especially with nature,
Mhm.
humans have to interfere
Mhm.
and actually think that they're solving something.
Well, said weather can kill a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got to nuke those hurricanes.
So full circle, the last movie I saw in this theater in Nacogdoches was Twisters.
Mm.
And
Not as good as the original.
You didn't think so? I thought it was pretty good.
The originals was like, it's because it had that romance in it. The original had a good romance too. Come on.
Let's have good
I mean,
romance.
come on, it's Bill Paxton. Who doesn't love Bill Paxton?
But it wasn't a good experience for me watching the movie there because one of the speakers had blown out.
Yeah, it was definitely an aging
Oh,
theater for
oh.
sure. Like, no doubt.
Mhm.
But
100%.
That was bad.
really, it got sad when they got rid of all the projectors and made them all digital.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
when it's like, it's not theater anymore, truly.
Yeah.
Like, there's no more gateway.
Can't hear though.
Yeah,
Going in the film.
yeah. Like that was the other thing. There were tons of ads before the movie yesterday, and one of them, I swear, was a full CGI ad for a cookie commercial where the kids were like, there's a bunch of kids running around a dinosaur museum eating these cookies, and it's like those kids are CGI. Their face when they bite into like, not CGI, sorry, AI.
AI. Yep.
They were AI. I'm like, oh, it's a fully AI commercial in a movie theater.
Yeah.
The beginning of the end.
AI. Yeah. It is you can right now it's not at the point yet where it's completely you can't differentiate between the two. I
Not
feel like
yet.
if you watch enough, you're like, okay, that's very easy.
There's signs. There was a good Corridor Crew video the other day where they were showing their moms. I don't know if they're Corridor Crew, but they're YouTubers where they're CGI artists and they do all sorts of videos on there that are pretty, pretty cool, pretty knowledgeable, teach you about things. But they they were showing their moms like AI videos and like how do you figure out whether, like, if I call you and it's a picture of me in the hospital or a video of me in the hospital saying like I need money
Mhm.
or whatever for this procedure, then it's like how do you tell whether it's AI, whether it's not AI?
Mhm.
So they were just going through the tells.
Mhm.
So a lot of them are like, you can't produce videos over 8 seconds yet, really. So if a single take is longer than 8 seconds, it's probably not AI.
Mhm.
If there's continuity across the scenes, like if you're cutting from one thing to the other and the continuity stays the same, you're staying with the same characters,
Mhm.
their clothing looks the same, aspects like that, you can tell.
Mhm.
Contrast levels or something you can tell too, because they'll have a certain amount of lights and darks, because
Mhm.
almost all your AI images and video are produced from a noise floor where they start at 0 and then or that in the middle, and then they build outwards and like generate an image from that.
Mhm. And that's why you have so many disturbances in the backgrounds, where like if you like a picture on the wall is going to be
That's the
pretty
thing.
distorted.
Lettering too. Like look
Mhm.
around at words and make sure you see if words are spelled wrong, if fonts don't make sense, if corners and and angles don't line up correctly. But the thing is that when a video is going by so quickly, like you don't notice it on the first round
Mhm.
unless you're really looking, because they've got the hands figured out. Teeth they don't have quite figured out yet,
Mhm.
because a lot of times the data that's trained on, there wasn't teeth in the photos.
Mhm.
And that's the other thing too, is if it's someone AI doesn't know what their teeth look like a lot of
Mhm.
times. So like if someone's trying to, deep fake, like the teeth have to be right.
Mhm. Yeah, that's fair.
There's details like that.
Is it evil?
But
Is AI evil?
I
Conspiracy?
don't know. I think it's just an algorithm. Like I think Ben over there has an idea that there might be demons in it. Maybe.
Tell me, Ben. Tell me your thoughts.
My thought is that the most major advances in technology over the past, I don't know, 50 years or so are probably, um, yeah, somebody's tapping into the other side.
Inspired by Nephilim or
You
something.
you can say 100. You could say like Nazi Germany style
Yeah,
stuff.
probably 100.
That's the
Probably
whole
probably since the Tower of Babel.
You don't think humans invent things?
I think humans can
be influenced by outside forces.
I think humans can invent things. However, once you have like major markers in changing world technology, I think that definitely probably comes from some other source.
Mm.
The invention of the airplane, yeah, just different markers throughout history. I think you can definitely probably pinpoint if you dug into those characters. I think they were
You think the
probably
Wright brothers were like, they had pentagrams on the floor of their workshop? They were channeling something to figure out how to glide a plane?
I mean, they weren't the only ones that were trying to figure it out either.
Mm.
But soon after, as soon as they figured out flight, um,
Yeah, it was within, I mean, by World War II, they had,
yeah,
they were flying around shooting at each other.
yeah. So the advancement quickly,
But it
I
advanced at
think,
the same level with the car too, because like the engine came along, like a number of things coincided to make it to where you could
I just don't think
fly.
it. Yeah, yeah. So
I don't know.
I don't know. I
But
don't.
I like to give people agency. I
Yeah,
like to assume that humans are our own worst enemies.
I think there's definitely credit to that. But once again, there's just a lot. There's a lot of interesting stories about you know technologies that were developed in secret and then slowly released.
Mm.
I mean, we it should be common knowledge, I think, that the military technology is probably quite advanced.
See, I was always told that growing up that they're 20 years ahead of us. And
Right.
it's like, but if they were 20 years ahead of us 20 years ago, I don't think they had a lot of the stuff we have now.
You don't think so?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think they had AI. Like they didn't have large language models 20 years ago. The government wasn't running those.
Maybe
I don't think they had nice Sony cameras. 4K, nice
a
cheap
division
cameras.
of it. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I
Mhm.
don't know.
Anyhow,
Aponics
on that note,
that.
all right. Well, did we cover everything? Did we?
I guess so. I don't know.
Good for me. Good for me.
All right. Thank you guys.
Appreciate you.